I could tell you today a story about a moment in history where the country came within literally 30 seconds of ending on the second day of the Battle of Gettysburg. And so over and over and over and over again, there have been really perilous moments. And in those moments, institutions have failed and new institutions have replaced failed institutions. New institutions have arisen out of necessity to oppose things that require opposition. And we're in a moment. And when you watch the speech that, or speeches
Yeah.
that took place today, they're tragic at a very, very deep level. The U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy are institutions that aren't just as old as the Constitution. They are older than the Declaration of Independence. They precede the Declaration of Independence. They formed under the authority of a colonial continental Congress in rebellion. And so the spectacle today was grotesque.
Yeah. Well, let's just
And
set it
tragic.
up for people who don't know
Yeah.
what happened. This is a military meeting at Marine Corps Base Quantico in Virginia, where the president and the Secretary of Defense called up some 800 military leaders from around the world. They all flew at great expense to Virginia. And originally, they were only going to be addressed by Hegseth, but Trump, being Trump, decided to insert himself at the last minute. And just, I'm going to read from the quick Washington Post lead on this that captures what will surely be the most commented on remarks from Trump, and really takes you inside his deranged thinking about what the purpose of the U.S. military is. And this is how the Post reported it. In his speech to top military leaders, Trump escalated his rhetoric against the radical left, repeatedly calling the group the enemy within and insisting that he should be able to use military force in American cities. I told Pete Hegseth we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military, because we're going into Chicago. Another quote, we've brought back the fundamental principle that defending the homeland is the military's first and most important priority. That's what it is, Trump said. Only in recent decades that politicians somehow came to believe that our job is to police the far reaches of Kenya and Somalia, while America is under invasion from within. We're under invasion from within. No different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways because they don't wear uniforms. At least when they're wearing a uniform, you can take them out. These people don't have uniforms, these people. But we are under invasion from within, and we're stopping it very quickly. And then one more quote, and this is to 800 military leaders from around the world. And this is going to be a big thing for the people in this room because it's the enemy from within. And we have to handle it before it gets out of control. It won't get out of control once you're involved at all. Has there ever been a speech by an American president to the top U.S. military leaders where he did not mention a single foreign threat and told them that their priority is the radical left, that the training grounds should be American cities, and this unspecified, ununiformed enemy within is the priority? saying this as he sends troops to Portland, Oregon, to Chicago, to Washington, D.C., to Los Angeles. What's your reaction to this speech, Steve?
I want to be very precise and very intentional about what I say here. But both Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump reveal themselves as domestic enemies of the United States Constitution, and they reveal themselves as fascists. Donald Trump's speech was Hitlerian. The declarations of the unseen enemy within, promises to turn American soldiers into murderers and killers of American citizens in American cities, where the American parents who raised many of those soldiers live and reside. Great cities of the United States defamed and threatened, and today declared war upon by an American president in front of all of the generals. Now, one of the unfortunate aspects of our society today is that the great divide that exists between the military and civilian society. There used to be shows, whether it was McHale's Navy, Gomer Pyle, MASH, and they had cultural relevance in part because so much of the society had served in the military.
Yeah.
And so our society relates to the military, which I guess if Trump has his way here will be uncomfortable when you have to let the soldiers who have the guns pointed at you now board first on Delta Airlines or United or American or Southwest or whatever. But we live in the thank you for your service society, the performative patriotism, a few chants of USA, USA,
Yep.
walk out on the NFL field, fly over, giant, right, giant flag, so on and so on and so forth. And so there's a broad estrangement between the US military and the American people. And so what I want everyone to understand is that the men in the room, the women in the room, who reach that level, who are flag officers, which means you're a 1, 2, 3, 4-star general or admiral, is that all of those people have gone through a level of education. They have advanced degrees. They are graduates of the Army War College or the Naval War Colleges of advanced military training. They understand politics, law, all of the concepts of illegal orders. They appreciate what happened at My Lai, and none of them want to become a criminal on the command of Pete Hegseth and become the equivalent of the Chinese general that ordered the attack on Tiananmen Square. But what Donald Trump promised today is we're going to have an American Tiananmen Square, and looked at the America's generals and admirals, and he said, and you're going to do it on my order. And then he talked about firemen are brave and all of this. It was a stunning speech. It was insane. Pete Hegseth is a clown, somebody who, according to news reports, is cracking, somebody who is unfit at every conceivable, imaginable level. He's unfit intellectually, he's unfit morally, and it is a tragic day for the armed forces of the United States in the complete meltdown of the civilian leadership. I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack Thank you.